Hi, I'm Ryan.
I'm Dustin.
I'm Justin.
And we're Scratch Ice Cream. So there are thousands of ice cream companies in America. What makes us different? Why would you invest in us? You see, I didn't grow up dreaming of owning an ice cream company. I actually didn't have many dreams at all. Most of my time and energy was spent just trying to survive. I battled opiate and heroin addiction from the age of 15 to 26. I've overdosed and been arrested numerous times, and I just couldn't stay sober. At 27 years old, I was a felon living in sober living with no degree and unemployed. I made a phone call to my aunt and uncle who owned Yo Mama Frozen Yogurt, and I was given a job and an opportunity. I worked their shops, and my uncle started showing me how businesses are ran on the back end. He had some ideas for new startups, and one of them was wholesale ice cream. So I read books, and I spent hours and months in the kitchen just working on recipes. When my aunt and uncle sampled what is now Scratch Ice Cream, they provided me with the capital to get started. Shortly after the birth of Scratch, I opened my own sober living house called Three Rivers Recovery, and that's where I met Dusty.
I first met Ryan about 4 years ago when I was at one of the lowest points in my life. He picked me up off the streets and brought me to his sober living house. He offered me a job opportunity at Scratch Ice Cream, and after about a few years when the company had been growing rapidly, we decided that it would be a good idea to bring someone else on board, bring us to Justin.
So I'm Justin, I'm Ryan's younger brother, and I got my degree in agricultural and food business management. And after college, my first job was just working in sales at a business technology company. One day, Ryan gave me a call to talk about full-time opportunities with Scratch. So I quit my job the next day, and I've been working full-time ever since. Just recently became a partner this past summer.
That's fantastic.
So what makes us different? We make pretty much everything from scratch in small batches. The salted caramel you're about to taste, we make on a 12 by 12 burner. The brownies we make in small convection ovens. We pay attention to every last detail, and we take nothing for granted.
So why invest in us? We're growing, we're scalable, we got big plans for the years ahead. And with your guys' investment, I think that will take us to where we need to be.
So what are some of those big plans you have ahead?
In the next year, so right now we have two shops. One's on the east side in Crossroads Collective. The other one is at Zocalo, which is actually a food truck park that opened in July. But we've just grown too much. The space is too small. So right now we're working on signing a lease on the east side, which will need new equipment. We'll need to do a small build out. Those are our short-term plans, but we are a wholesale business, so we're looking to grow down to the Chicago market and then Midwest and then the country.
So how much are you selling right now?
We've done over 300,000. Next year we're looking to double it. I mean, we've been around 3 or 4 years, and we've grown 50%, 30%. This last year we grew by 90% in revenue. We're looking to double that next year.
You have a very inspirational story. I
Thank
hope
you.
you never quit telling that story. There are so many people that can benefit from both of your stories. I think that's a really important part because you're giving back to the community even by telling your story.
Thank you.
How many different flavors do you have right now?
We have a bunch of flavors, but in grocery stores we have fewer. So we have, like, in most grocery stores between like 9 and 13.
What stores you in?
So we're all over the place, but we're in Woodman's, we're in Sendik's on Downer.
We're gonna hit the streets again, try and get more wholesale accounts.
I'm not on the payroll, and this is exceptionally good. Exceptionally good.
Thank
The
you.
salted
really is.
caramel waffle cone is amazing. Oh
Thank you
my
very
gosh.
much.
Well, congratulations. I imagine when you look at hiring some people, you also are very thoughtful about second chances.
Yeah, I mean, we've hired lots of guys from my sober living house. You know, Dusty for one. You know, at our shops, we've got a lot of guys that come straight from my sober living house to working. You know, and we try and work with them, and it's great because, you know, they can never call in sick. They can't do any of that. So they start learning how to show up and be productive, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, here's a perfect example of when it works. You know, we've got a great relationship, and that relationship was started by, you know, our histories of drug addiction, and you know, we've kind of bonded together, and you know, we're able to do something cool, and then you throw my brother in the mix. It's great.
That's an
awesome
amazing
awesome.
that
story.
you've done that. Yeah,
Thank you.
It really is.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
What a story.
How about that?
Yep.
The why behind why everybody does what they do
It's just
is
amazing.
just so, in this case, is really inspiring.
It's interesting. I've had the ice cream. I've walked by there about 3 or 4 times. I've had the ice cream. I've seen a little line in the back of that crossing,
Yeah.
whatever they call
Crossroads
it. I've
Collective,
been in there
yeah.
about 3 or 4 times.
They've only been open for a couple years, and I asked the question, so tell me, how did you double the size of your business? Most people would be killing to double the size of the business. He's
Right.
like, nah, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I just opened another store.
They
It's
non-
actually really
They
complicated.
nonchalanted Sendix and Woodman's.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like,
I wasn't
Sendix
expecting.
and Woodman's, it's not a
I
big
wasn't,
deal.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Not
I
at
mean,
all.
That was very
Not at all.
nonchalant.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And their product is amazing.